This is the Big Ten Tournament semifinals. Off and running. Two teams that are very favorable of Scarlet are dressed here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Top seed Ohio State wearing the white jerseys. Off the ground ball, Joe Younger kissed the captain.
6-on-6 offense will be critical for both of these teams. Rutgers in particular, when you think about this stingy unit for the Buckeyes.
Colin Cardilla, the big gun for the Scarlet Knights, wanders his way to the interior. Good check was put on him by Kyle Foster. Stout defense, that's the calling card for the Buckeyes. Alex Marinier, the top shooting threat for Ohio State.
I love the snappy ball movement of Ohio State. They look in sync, they look crisp on this opening possession.
Shot clock down to 10. Marinier, wide open, he scores! Alex Marinier.
Marinier is like a chess piece on this Ohio State offensive board. Wherever he goes, the ball will follow. This is the defense incorporated by Ohio State. This is what I mean by Cardilla. You've got to have a little bit quicker move, and you have to have an exit plan. But watch Marinier just glide across the top of your screen, and Haas finds him on the backside. What a beautiful shot. Marinier has a rocket.
Goal number 42 on the campaign. He has tallies in 13 of the Buckeyes' 15 contests this season. At the face-off X, Oldman and Pilato. Pilato has been terrific for Brian Breck's squad this season.
The Buckeyes very comfortable on this pitch as well.
A first ever regular season title for Ohio State. This pass up top, taken by Colin Cardilla. He'll share the rock with Logan Peters. Shot clock's down at 20. Stinging the opposite corner with a rip for Colin Cardilla. Rutgers has tied it.
Number 88 in red is a Rutgers legacy. His father played lacrosse for the Scarlet Knights, and he and his brother carrying on that tradition. I didn't like how Cardilla started the game. 2 turnovers. But watch him recognize the short stick matchup on Blake Island, and he is just going to get a step, get his arms free, and he tattoos the upper 90. Look at the placement and velocity.
Tally number 26 on the campaign for Cardilla, who leads the team in goals. Strikes now for him in 14 of 16. A face-off win for Jack Oldman. He's number 1 in the conference in ground balls this season.
This Ohio State defense just collapses whenever that ball goes anywhere near the interior. And I think Rutgers got away with a chicken wing, meaning the offensive player clamped down the offensive player's stick.
Bullseye. Cardilla again goes 5-hole this time on Fayok.
Cardilla was fantastic a week ago here in the Scarlet Knight victory over Michigan, and he continues his hot hand. Look at the ball movement. Cardilla uses the pick, and just that little rub gets Bobby Van Buren off his track. No slide, because let's face it, the Buckeyes aren't used to sliding when number 44 is on ball.
You mentioned Colin's performance in the quarterfinals and knocked out the host Wolverines. 4 goals and 2 assists in that one. Former midfielder turned attack this season. Brian Breck says he's more likely to be a midfielder in the future, but they needed him at that end of the field. Buckeyes, the only loss they suffered in the Big Ten regular season. O'Leary has been a solid contributor. Goals in 6 of his last 8. Likes that swim, gets underneath, and rips the crossbar again.
There we see the presence of Carden Stoller. His size, as O'Leary did a great job of getting inside of that. The thing about Carden is he's not a guesser. He just uses that big frame and athleticism to his advantage.
Took that one right off the grill, right off the face mark. The face mask of the netminder. Submarine score! Marinier! All dialed in so far today.
There he is, number 5 in white. He's had the ball on his stick for what? Maybe 2-3 seconds
I was going to
combined?
say 3/10 of a second.
That snappy release, his range is something special. Rutgers is going to have to do a better job of locating 5. Look at that. He is wide open at the top of the key. 1-100, 2-100, 3-100, and then he just rips it.
Haas on the outside with Younger Kiss. Short stick defensive midfielder. Haas off the redodge, lets it fly, and Stoller eats it up. His outlet pass is right on the button for Younger Kiss, who is an offensive point producer. Driving in, fires, Fayak shifts over and makes the save.
Well, we talked about Stoller making himself taller, tasty. 290 plus pounds of him, made himself bigger.
I got him. Next plane ready.
Isolating against Scalamandre, rolling back, 10 seconds to shoot. Haas fakes. Marinier off the hitch, lets it fly, he scores! A first quarter hat trick for Marinier.
Watching this possession, you can see Rutgers slides more than Ohio State. But this is not bad defense, and you just saw number 92 in red, Carden Stoller, point to himself and say, that's my bad. I love the closeout here by Rutgers. Younger Kiss, look, he gets hands on, throws him off his line, and then that shot just eludes and fools Stoller.
Seeing that in slow-mo, you see the flex of the wrist from the former defender. Just a beautiful shooting stroke. Marinier has them all for the Buckeyes in a 3-2 lead. Curdilla has them both for the Scarlet Knights. We're in the final 2 minutes of the opening quarter. Nice pickup there by Oldman. Face-off man working in. He submarines one wide of the goal. Peters on the go. Swing it once more for Shane Murphy. Rolling back. Lost his footing there. 10 seconds to shoot. Fayak comes out and captures for Ohio State.
Tip of the cap to Nick Myers and his Ohio State Buckeyes here in 25.
5 goals mark on the board, and just 2 players have them all. As Ohio State gets possession to start, a good look inside, and it crossed up Jack McKenna. Protecting Carden Stoller between the pipes. Outstanding netminder for Rutgers. Haas drawing a double. Beautifully timed there for the takeaway. Stoller and company will clear.
All captains, and they were all housemates back at Princeton. Wonder who did the who cleaned the bathrooms at that place.
Not my job. Van Buren there, fall down, Curdilla. Working feverishly there, and there's a Scarlet Knight in need of attention.
That's Curdilla.
And it is Curdilla, who's slow to get back to his feet. Almost 4 minutes into the second frame. Younger Kiss now showing his defensive talents, working in concert with Stefanos. Stoller made the save there on a BB from McGee. Working in against Dante Bowen, the short stick defensive midfielder for the Buckeyes. Swing it this way. Logan Peters wants the ball. Peters off the swim. Feed to the interior. Fayak with a nifty looking stop on Colin Kelly.
Look at Tasty. That is almost 300 pounds. Getting down low effortlessly.
Haas forced away by Stefanos. O'Leary off the roll dodge. Haas gets it coordinated for Liam White, freshman who hails from Illinois. Skip it on through. Boom! Matthews with a bomb from the outside.
Gannon Matthews from the Lacrosse hotbed of Eagle, Idaho, via Cleveland State transfer. Look at Tasty. Incredible save and awareness by Van Buren and Falster to just get that thing back in his cross to keep the rebound from becoming a problem. And once again, the Rutgers defense, too much ball watching, allows a shooter like Matthews to get free. Beautiful look from Liam White. The step down, the rip, the shot, the goal.
Freshman who was a step or two late getting there as we go to the face-off dot. Ohio State has its largest lead of the game. Matthews on the board with goals at 7 of his last 8.
They're really in tune with one another on this possession. You feel like they could break through.
Roll dodge here for Logan Peters. Shot clock gets down to 10. Turnover. Overrun there first by Johnny Cool. Collected, though, by Langermeyer, and he'll set the Buckeyes in motion offensively. Ohio State at 12-2, the Big Ten regular season champs. A mark of 4-1, bested by only Maryland. Moving in, it's O'Leary. Running through Scalamandre. Turns back and fires. That's eaten up by Stoller.
Yeah, that's not going to beat number 92 in red, Carden Stoller. A rich tradition of alumni at Rutgers, and that relationship between the alums and the team, never more evident than when you do games at SHI Stadium, and there are 10, 12, 15, 20 alums standing at the end of the Rutgers bench.
Kelly fires. That's stabbed by Fyock. He wants to go fast break with Cullen Brown.
They'll take on Albany. Our friend Scott Marr and the Danes looking to make an impact.
Bryant, a team that Ohio State saw and solved earlier this season. Here comes the double. Beautiful timing again. Scalamandre with a takeaway check. Scarlet Knights off and running.
White is such an intelligent player. I love how he recognized the defense sloughing off, giving him that shot opportunity.
10 seconds on the shot clock. O'Leary fakes it, passes inside on the dunk. It's Matthews.
What a look. Short time on the shot clock. And Matthews, right at goal line extended, got open. But this is really, you can see the raindrops coming down. You can see the threading of the needle. Haas just passes it up top. O'Leary finds Matthews, and watch Matthews in super slow motion go underneath. Younger Kiss, just a little bit out of position, tries to crowbar Matthews, but you see the strength of number 24 in white.
Matthews, Mark, with his 5th multi-goal game of the season. He had a 2 spot against Rutgers in the earlier matchup, did the same against Denver. Buckeyes' largest lead now at 5-2 with 65 seconds to go in the half. Rutgers gets possession. Once more, it's Pilato, the face-off man, who's almost 60% this season. Zeller off of that pick from Summer. Summer will try it now off the invert against Island. Down to 17 seconds, a pass, good catch by Aiello. Snapshot kicked out by Fyock. Rebound. Oh my goodness! Grand larceny from Fyock. Brilliance. Buckeyes not done yet. Marinier waits, gets away from the double. That's going to do it for the half after a magical save sequence from Caleb Fyock.
Give me a second to pull my jaw off of the floor. Look at this initial save. If that isn't pretty enough, from his backside. What a save by Big Tasty. The rebound. Johnny on the spot. Shane Murphy. And look at the save. They might want to review that.
Murphy was saying, hey, that was in. That was across the goal line when he made the stop. Matthew Pilato and Jack Oldman, familiar rivals throughout the day at the dot. Face-off possession belongs to Oldman with Ohio State in the white jerseys.
The offense that just needs to find some cracks, some seams in this Ohio State D and get some points on the board.
Rutgers forced 17 turnovers by Michigan in the quarterfinal game last week. This is a turnover back to Ohio State with Langermeyer running in transition, weaving his way in, and he bounced it wide. Sheehan getting topside. Here comes the help. Shot clock at 24. McKenna towering over his defender. McKenna tied up at the hands there by Splain. McKenna, good look to Haas. He scores. And a foul.
Whatever this foul is, it looks like it's going to be wiped out as the official making the signal. We'll see what the adjudication is, but I thought Splain did a nice job of tying up McKenna, and I believe Rutgers created offense on this situation, sliding, as we're going to take a look at what if this holds, it's a dead ball foul. So it's wiped out. It was a push call against Rutgers, but watch Splain, good defense, tied up, still has him, really no reason to go. And there's 3 red jerseys that go, and then the backside is wide open, and that is where Haas parks himself and gets an easy one. I'm good at English. Math? No, forget about it.
Face-off control by Oldman, another possession, a chance for the Buckeyes to stack some tallies together.
And this is now danger zone time if you're Rutgers. This is not a team built to come back from big deficits.
At the midline, this is goosed over by Cullen Brown.
Great play by Aiello.
Scarlet Knights benefit as a result with Mendyke. Little give and go, right to the cage. He scores! Tommy Mendyke.
Initially, I was going to chirp J.J. Aiello, number 0 in red, for not being near his defender. But watch Cullen Brown. He gets a little lackadaisical. And great job by Aiello to disrupt that ground ball opportunity for Marinier and Ohio State. And then a little give and go to the pole. Mendyke showing off he can handle the 70 inches of titanium.
Son of John and Kay, the youngest of 4 children in the Mendyke family. Mendyke had assists earlier this year against St. Joe's in Maryland. Aiello gets away, and they'll bring it for Summer. He'll carve in against Langermeyer. Zeller hitching away from Griffin Liedl. Long stick midfielder for the Buckeyes. This bouncer was wide of the goal, flagged down by Fayok. And Caleb looks to clear. Just one area in which he has shown Nick Myers and his Buckeyes teammates a lot of improvement. Whoops. Island lost control of ball and cross. Rutgers looking for the break here. That pass is just a bit tall for Splain, and Fayok will do it again a long ways from the cage.
Really ill-advised by Cardilla.
Big fella tiptoeing the sideline.
I think Tasty may have stepped out.
They allow play to continue. J.J. Aiello blanked only by Army and Ohio State this season. Points in all other 13 games.
Ohio State in a little bit of a zone right here, packing it in. Maybe giving their defense a rest after that turnover by Tasty.
Snapshot, score! Lawler from deep, and it's a 2-goal game.
The senior with the worm burner. Ohio State loves to hunt the ball. Not saying they can't play zone, but great ball movement by the Scarlet Knights. Ohio State's been short-sticking Aiello, number 0, in red all game long. And here in the zone, they just give a little too much cushion. He loads up, locates his shot, and beats the big man down low.
6 overall on the season, as you can tell, top of the screen, and suddenly Rutgers is back within 2.
You make a juice play like Aiello made and Mendyke made, it can really bolster you.
Sheehan picked up by Scalamandre. Gets the jump on him, feeds it, gets it back there off of the cross. That was deflected off of Murphy. Scarlet Knights able to clear. It's Younger Kiss bringing it along for Scalamandre as the short stick middies look for the slow break. Younger Kiss fires. Fayok made the save.
Love the slow break, find the trail, but can't solve the big man between the pipes.
Van Buren will outlet. Liedl looks to go. 4-on-2 fast break. Down low. Score! Donnery on the business end of the break.
It's a 2-goal turnaround. Instead of it being 6-5, Rutgers trailing by 1. The Buckeyes use Big Tasty. I love this find. Younger Kiss, beautiful shot. Was going to be a high bouncer, but it ricochets off of the body of Caleb Fyock. And how about that tough ground ball from Bobby Van Buren? Soaks a few checks, gets it up the field, and there's Lytle finding his man inside. Love the pump fake, move the defense, get it down low, and O'Leary makes no mistake.
Plenty of time on the shot clock for Rutgers. They're trailing by 3. Just a bit more than 5 minutes to go in quarter number 3. There's a double. Ambushed on the outside was Peters, a takeaway for the Buckeyes. White, very slick. Liam White, who played high school ball in the Baltimore area at Boys Latin.
Illinois native.
Yes.
Border at BL.
Haas, nice look-away pass. Better save by Stoller. Stoller digging deep to make the save there. McGee, top side. Well played there. Keep it spinning. That was Judovic, the long stick midfielder, with the last defensive exchange. McKenna had the ball chopped out of his stick. Working against Dante Bowen. Finds the open man at Summer. Kelly's next. Around the horn, Lawler. Shot clock's at 20. Lawler with room. Fires, scores! Second on the day for Justin Lawler.
Lawler laying the hammer down. Almost a carbon copy of a goal he scored earlier this quarter. Good ball movement beats a good defense, and that's what Rutgers did on this sequence. Lawler up top, Cardilla drags the defense down. They shade, step, fire, 5-hole, number 40 in red. Lawler keeping the Rutgers Scarlet Knights in this one. This 2025 edition trying to replicate, do that one better.
Golden Buckeye, Creators Trophy, Big Ten regular season title, and then he said, hey, we need to exhale and get set. They've had a solid week of practice getting ready for this semifinal. They have a 2-goal lead, make it 3. Diving effort from Liam White.
Big goal for Ohio State. Rutgers seized some momentum, started making plays, and Liam White, the freshman, unlucky for Ryan Splain. Younger Kiss on the defense, gives way to Splain, and watch, he's just gonna fall down. Good job by Liam White. Look at the inside roll. He uses his body almost as a battering ram, uses his leverage of his left shoulder to get inside of Splain.
He had Big Ten goals earlier against Rutgers and Johns Hopkins. This one makes it 8-5 for Ohio State. Another face-off win for Oldman. And the last possession of the quarter belongs to the Buckeyes between himself and Pilato. Marinier lost it there as he tried to shoot. Final 5 seconds, heave downfield off the short hop. Cardilla lets it go, and Fyock adds to his save total at the buzzer.
The linchpin of this Rutgers defense, and Caleb Fyock, what else can you say about Big Tasty? Beautiful save percentage, and one for the ages with that keister stop in the second quarter.
Stoller, who gained a lot of confidence last year when he was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Brian Breck matter-of-factly says, hey, we lean on him. There is a whistle and a late flag down.
It's a good way out for officials when they don't want to give a full minute, and they just give that conduct and a 30-second man up to Ohio State.
See the special teams numbers there, bottom of the screen. Ohio State 11 for 31 on extra man. Conversion on the turnaround shot with Sheehan.
When teams make mistakes, good teams, championship teams, capitalize. And that's exactly what Ohio State does on this extra man set. They get into it quick. Sheehan is just going to find a soft spot on the interior. He drags across, and too much room being given to number 10 in white. Catch, turn, shoot.
Bumps the lead up to 4. Pilato gets the draw for Rutgers. Much needed possession time now. O'Leary loves to attack from the flank. McKenna parked back behind the goal. Patient set here for the Buckeyes. From the bad angle, Stoller taking care of that from Gannon Matthews.
Yeah, nice job by Stoller, hugging the pipe, didn't give up any room. A lot of times we'll see goaltenders step away or jump, but their time he held his position well.
Younger Kiss will offer for J.J. Aiello. Aiello, a huge game earlier in the season against Loyola. Fayak handles that BB from deep. No troubles there as Scalamandre let it go. Long way from the cooker, it's Hayden Summer. Gets a screen from Kelly. Shares the ball with Logan Peters, another sweep. Peters feeds. Kelly fires it, straightening up there. Fayak handled it beautifully. This team rolling right along at 12-2. Only losses to Utah and Maryland. Utah was the season opener. Sprung them into an 11-game win streak. Jump shot here, score! Turning the corner, McKenna.
The Buckeyes are starting to feel it. Nick Myers pointing to his defense. Good job. You're the ones that gave us this opportunity. Again, it's Liam White. I love him as an initiator, a party starter, a guy that gets the defense rotating. Quick jab move, comes back again, and there's McKenna, the Leviathan, lurking behind the cage. 6'6", and goes high to high. Unbelievable golfer. Could probably play at the collegiate level if he wasn't so good at lacrosse.
That is a fun fact. Might have to go for a putting lesson.
Get ready to have your wallet emptied.
Feed inside, score! Beautiful ball movement for Zellers, put away.
Rutgers isn't going to go quietly. They continue to fight. Zeller has had a terrific season for this Rutgers team. His father was an All-American defenseman at the University of Virginia back in the 90s. Good offense, spread out Ohio State, look for an opportunity, and there it is right there. Just good ball movement, and I like crashing of the crease. This is a Rutgers team that just has not done a great job.
Coolest to Zeller there. Zeller, son of Carl and Shannon. Pennsylvania native, makes it a 4-goal game. Important draw here in Younger Kiss. With a wing play, gets Rutgers the ball. First of 2 semifinals, Maryland and Penn State to come from the University of Michigan Lacrosse Stadium in Ann Arbor. Rain has subsided a little bit. Lawler from down under didn't get that one off cleanly, and it's Langermeyer the other way. Definitely see that in the next semifinal from the likes of Logan McNaney. So often he's clean on that first save and zipping it to a Turpin transition. Fire here, Fayak right on cue, doing just that. The save, the outlet's a loop over the top. Langermeyer has it and gets away from Mongillo.
Threw it to a space.
Look out. Sheehan, blindsided there by Udovich. Buckeyes come to help. Marinier sees this one fly in the air. Sheehan put a crunch on, and we're going to get a hold. Mongillo, 5 in the red, leaving for Hayden Summer. Against Bowen, cross crease. Verdilla fires, and Fayak adds to his save total. Bouncing away, 2:47 left. Buckeyes buckling up defensively. Island on the outside. An inverted Hayden Summer. He'll go against Cullen Brown. Summer, topside, interior, Lawler turns and scores! The hat trick for Justin Lawler.
I love this play drawn up by offensive coordinator Eric Saramet for the Scarlet Knights. Lawler has been terrific off ball. He's shown range with 2 bombs early in this contest. But Summer is just going to use the 2-man game behind the cage, rubs off the pick, and there's Lawler, a right-handed player. I love how he just puts his foot in the dirt, spins back to his strong hand, and he hammers.
He has Foster drawing a bead on him. Colin Cardilla from the top. Former midfielder, currently an attacker. Bounce shot there. Fayok the save. He made it on Colin Kelly, and he finds the rebound.
That was a nasty bouncer fought off by Big Tasty.
Long ways towards the open cage, just over top. Scarlet Knights trail by 3.
You talk about this Rutgers team in 2025. The win over Michigan in the quarterfinals on the road after losing at home to the Wolverines, and then the first ever win over Maryland as a member of the Big Ten Men's Lacrosse Conference, and first since 1980. So a lot to be proud of for this Scarlet Knight team thus far in 25.
Mark, we're in the final minute. The top-seeded Buckeyes have the ball in a 3-goal lead. Liam White with a rock, and he'll run for cover. Shot clock at 58, game clock at 38. Buckeyes can maintain possession and run it out from here. Matthews, though, sights the empty net and scores. Ready to record win number 13 overall in the campaign. That'll be official in 30 seconds' time. Face-off win for Sean McTodo. Subbing in for Oldman. Final 15 ticks. The Scarlet Knights will fall to 7-9 as Ohio State improves to 13-2 and advances into Saturday night's championship game. The Buckeyes are there. They'll play the winner of Maryland-Penn State. This one's a final after a long-range rip hits the post. The Buckeyes will celebrate with Caleb Fayok.